how they're supposed to spin. Welcome back to us. Yeah. Yeah, there you go. You can put that on the outtakes reel. One of the problems we noticed is that the head sail has some pretty severe halyard wrap, and the swivels are kind of not so smooth anymore for the furling mechanism on the Schaefer 2100. So I contacted Schaefer and ordered a new lower drum unit and a new head swivel. In addition to that, one of the things you can do to alleviate the halyard wrap is install a halyard restrainer, so I'm going to have to go up to the masthead and do that. So up here we got a bunch of dead bugs and stuff, birds poop in it. This is the upper swivel, and you can see as this thing spins to wind up the sail, it doesn't spin very well. This here, the bottom swivel isn't as bad because it's enclosed, but we went ahead and ordered a new bottom drum assembly as well. Schaefer sold us this as their retrofit kit, and pretty reasonable solution instead of changing out the whole thing. I took the spare one off the inner forestay and tried to take it apart, and they've got clips in here, little snap rings, and I don't know how they build these things, but there is like no way humanly possible to get these things out. And then I started looking on the new one. Our old ones don't have this, but you can take these out. There's 3 rows of bearings inside here. One here, here, and here. And now they've made it serviceable to where you can take these out, replace the Torlon balls, and you just rotate them out, spin them, and drop all the balls into your hand, and pop in new balls as needed. So these things are now fully serviceable. But I'm sure we can get another 20 years out of this thing. They look pretty good. I'm going to put in this new bearing. I can use the top plates from the other furler, whichever one looks like it's in the best shape. This one's got a lot of oxidation on the top.
So this is the furler from the staysail that we took off?
Yeah, this is the spare. Its bearings are equally jammed up. So in order to get this plate off, this is the retaining pin. So, like I was mentioning with the other one, now they've put a plate in here that allows you access to the roller bearings that are in the drum assembly. I'm trying. That's how jammed up this whole thing is.
All right. Go ahead.
So this is the 4 screws that hold the bearing onto the torque tube. This is what slides up the furling foil, and it holds the it's got a shackle that clips onto the sail. You can see the grooves in this on these plates. It's like hexagonal or octagonal, I guess. There's 4 sides, yeah. So octagonal. I might use the plates off the old one, the one that's on the boat, because I think they're in better shape. That way they don't rotate around. This is actually machined to accept this in those slots. Stainless screws into an aluminum housing.
Okay.
So I coated the stainless screws with Tef gel. So today now we're going to take down the furling headstay and exchange the wire on the inside for new wire that we had swaged at Hansen Rigging. And we're going to put on the new furler bearings. So the first thing we had to do was secure the foil. And I'm throw a rolling hitch on it and hoist it up with the halyard. Then inside there's a stop pin that keeps the foil from sliding down. That stop pin goes in right here.
And it just went.
Alright, so the stop pin just went rolling into the water. But I have an extra 2100 Schaefer. This is the stop collar that keeps the...
Are you going to lose these things too?
No, these are capped. These screws are captive. They don't come out.
Okay.
So now this gives me access to the toggles. So I just took the pressure off the backstay. Now I'm going to loosen up the headstay until I can get this toggle pin out of the... This is going to be fun. Alright, so I went up, threw a rolling hitch around the furler foil, and now I'm going to lower it down to deck. So Jenny's going to be down here with the pin, taking the pin out of the toggle, and then I'll walk it around and get this thing down off the boat. So I'm taking everything apart on the swivels and the furling drum and all that, getting all this stuff off. Now I got to tighten it up, and then I'm going to subtract center to pin somewhere on the wire, make a mark, and then record that number. Then I got to take everything apart and get it set up for putting the fish tape through here. Now what I did was measure back from the center of the pin and made a mark 5 inches off, because I got to get rid of this piece of wire and slide the cone off and get all that stuff. So when I go down there and get all this slid out of the way, I can take a measurement to the center and add 5 inches to it. So after I got all the stuff slid off and took the Norseman fitting off, I took a center pin, measured back 5 inches and put a mark on the wire. Measured from that end to get the pin to pin length, because in order to get the Norseman fitting off I had to cut the wire. So I added 5 inches to this. 51.6 was to the black mark, plus 5 inches is 51 foot 11. That's the total length of the new wire stay. But I'm not going to cut it off until I get it fished up in here. That's what this is for. I've got to secure this to the old stay, so that when I fish it out, it will I'll be able to pull the new wire back up through. These things have little plastic liners, and just trying to shoot it through is probably not going to work too well. So we used a fish tape tied to the old headstay and pulled the fish tape through with the old wire out when we pulled the old wire out. Then tied the new wire end here to the fish tape and pulled the new wire back through with the swaged stud at the bottom of the furler. Measured the 51 foot 11 inches pin to pin length, and then the pin from center here is 1 3/8 inches, so I got to measure back 1 3/8 inches to this mark. So that's where the actual wire will be cut for this to be 51 foot 11 inch pin length. Now I'm going to put the eye fitting on. that goes up the masthead. And these are the Hain high mods that we've used before, the terminal fittings. Mainly the studs down at the low ends, but now eye fittings at the top here for the furler only at the top. Well, this is on the agenda for replacement. Looking at this with a magnifying glass. Jenny cleaned everything up. Got most of the rust off. But this is the toggle extension to give everything not only forward and aft movement, but also side to side, so it can move in multiple planes when the head sail's under load. So, but looking through here, I see some surface like corrosion, rust from the contact of the old toggle being down on this, possibly rubbing away at it.
You can feel it.
Yeah, you can feel it. It's, I don't know if you can zoom in on that, and it will need to be changed for sure. I don't think it's bad enough that it's gonna part. All right, everything's back together. Now I just gotta
All the way up.
take it all apart again, slide it up, tighten the shrouds, adjust the backstay.
Trying to lose any pieces overboard.
Exactly, like it's about to happen here. Dang.
How do you measure the tension on it? You don't.
You don't. What I do is I set these to the tape and then I tighten the heck out of the backstay. Because I already know the backstay is where the backstay is supposed to be. And the backstay is gaugeable.
Yes.
Getting tighter.
Yes.
So everything's caged up, everything's put on, the lines furled back up. Now I gotta go tighten the backstay, and that will adjust the head tension. So I just put the last turns on the turnbuckle to tension the backstay, and it seems to be pretty nice and tight. Everything's tensioned, head stays on. I'll check tension in a couple of days here and there. Thanks for watching, and if you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe. And if you like what you saw, give us a thumbs up.